100% feminine speakers today with me are Małgorzata Walczak, Ewa Abel, and Ania Rutkowska, which is a representative of We Girls, a startup founded by women. And maybe I'll start from the background and maybe the first idea, which was the basis for organization of this panel, which we called We Startup Girls. As you probably know, if you attend this kind of events, startup-focused conferences, majority of attendees are male, not female, but male, male representatives of startup environment. And when I expressed this opinion and this observation with some other feminine participant of one conference or startup event, of course, it turned out that every woman which comes to such event has exactly the same impression. And today I would like to ask my guests whether in their everyday work as an investors or as startup founders, do you have a chance and do you observe the same relation on the market? Is it like a representation of startup or feminine entrepreneurs, feminine companies? Is it like a tendency on the market in Poland or on the international arena? What does it look like?
Maybe I'll be the first one to answer a question. But first I'll introduce myself. I work as a partner at Giza Polish Ventures, which is a venture capital fund established by an Israeli venture capital group here in Poland a couple of years ago. What I do predominantly is actually screen startups that come for investment to our fund. And I have to say that, yes, vast majority of startups are led by male CEOs. And also there aren't many women among venture capital funds here in Poland or globally. So very much 100% confirmed.
Do you know why? Yeah, do you know why? Do you have some observations, some conclusions when you look at those companies?
I think there are many reasons, starting from this society that we grow up in, and the roles that we are being taught are female versus male since we're kids. Like, it's not really popular, it's not fun for a little girl to be interested in computers because other girls will make fun of her. So it starts at a very early age, and later on you have various other aspects like biology.
Impossible to deny is this factor. So you think that it starts at the very early stage of our lives, basically, right? So in kindergarten and our interests, but also those cultural models that we are taught, right?
From my perspective, and as a founder and managing partner of our company that is set up and founded by females, from my perspective, I see a lot of businesses run by women, but exactly the startup environment, as you mentioned, is truly dominated by men. And whether it's because it's industries that we're talking about, and it's mostly high tech, or we had this discussion just before we started the panel. So you'll probably say a little bit more about it. But yeah, when we go to those summits, when we go to see our partners, we are sometimes the only one females in the room. When we were trying to fundraise money, we were the only women in the room trying to convince that we want to sell the dolls. So that was pretty tough sell. But but that's also what we're trying to do as We Girls, as a company. We Girls, we want to try to change that, and we want to try to change the world. And We Girls will change the world, and we want to promote education. We want to promote make girls more active. Get in this world to be brave and be assertive and not to see those barriers, and be engineers, builders, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're trying to do as well as We Girls.
So actually, this is the answer to the first, like those cultural-based reason for this for the statistics, right? That Eva mentioned before. So even with you with your product, you already answer one of the reasons that will actually may lead to a larger number of female entrepreneurs, which is great.
Hope so.
Hello, my name is Małgosia Walczak. I'm an entrepreneur and investor, and I also run the technology venture capital, which is unique, I must admit. And I have, in whole my career, I met maybe 2 women globally who actually run technology, VC fund, sorry. So from my perspective, if I look at the startups, there is you actually answered the question. There is a culture behind it, but also there is a industry. I mean, if you look what we are investing in, 80% almost, even according to a Polish agency, is IT or ICT or Internet of Technology. Internet, but it's IT. And if you look at the universities and who is graduating these kind of schools, it's mostly men, right? So the answer is quite easy, because we are investing mainly in IT, because everybody thinks, I mean, I think that it's the easiest area of to invest in. Because we all think we know what IT is about, because we use it every day. So this is I think one of the reason, the industry. What I find also as a problem is that in Poland especially, the foundations, the organization they do not support women actually, or women who have ideas, who are sitting at home, etc. And now we have a trend that all the mothers, young mothers who have young children, all of them want to produce a new organization company, which produces the fashion clothing for kids. And we have plenty of them. I personally know five startups which are actually in this field. So if we have, for instance, group of women who are actually, there are some foundations, there are some meetings, but they are talking about among themselves, and there is nothing which is coming out of that. So if we maybe could send this message to these women sitting at home or having ideas, that let's share our knowledge, let's share our mind, our experience, and let's coach them what to do or which direction to choose, I think it will be something
good
which
direction.
could kick off the startup, let's say, among women.
I was wondering that we have a network for women entrepreneurs. We have Gig Girl Carrots, which actually stimulate women to either go out and think about their own business, or to focus on technology, like Gig Girl Carrots.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it would be the right direction to stimulate women entrepreneurs?
Yeah, and should be open. I mean, I am always, I have maybe one invitation per month to attend different kind of meetings. But when I look at the attendees, it's very nice, because the women who attend are really high-profile women. But they bring, for instance, for the lecture, HR manager from the bank. I mean, hello. I mean, I'm not going to go there. I have 3 kids at home for 3 hours spending and listening to HR presentation, which is probably very interesting, but not for me. So I think that if we have this kind of foundations, we should actually say, okay, I'm specialist in technology and fashion. This is my passion also, but it's a private passion. I founded the fashion company a few years ago, and I sold it in 2013. So I think that if we could share the knowledge and open ourselves to the world and make it open, not only being in our own sauce, it would for sure help.
Okay, what's your opinion, girls? Like, some ideas to stimulate women both to focus on technology or basically on entrepreneurship, how to make their go into business?
I think that an initiative like Gig Girl Carrots, and there are many such initiatives starting in the US and the Silicon Valley, because it is a global problem. The fact that only a very small percentage of graduates of IT, well, university degrees are female is, I'd say, a global catastrophe, because women, what is really important for corporations, for any type of business, is diversity. Because if you have the same people sitting in one room, they'll never come up with a really innovative solution, really innovative product, and they will never be able to look at the product from the perspective of a client that is not one client. It's not a homogeneous group, especially if you are dealing with a user, like B2C business. So it is really important that we have more female IT graduates. And I think that an initiative like Gig Girl Carrots is really good for startups, but we should go earlier on into the education process and start from primary school and provide like basic programming. We have Ruby on Rails that is good for kids to learn, and other easy programming languages, and teach kids, all girls, boys, no divisions, how to code at early age. And I had many teachers in primary school who were teaching us maths and physics with the approach that you're never going to understand it anyways. So, like, why are you my teacher? It's a really terrible approach, and we should get rid of people like that. And I think the process
a different approach.
Transform.
Yeah, I'll just ask them to leave, not to destroy our future, our kids. So I think you need to go earlier on. But of course, Gig Girl Carrots and other initiatives promoting girls at technology universities, great initiatives.
Okay, like what drives women and men? Do you think there are any differences that make people actually go into business? Are there any difference from what you can see when analyzing the companies that you perhaps will invest in? Or Anya, what were your drive to go into business, to set up your company, We Girls?
Well, like everything, but. No, I think passion, inspiration, a drive to build something, to meaningful, to look for a product. Actually, I wanted to build on what you said, and when this is a little bit related to that. 80% of purchases decisions are made by females, right? We know that. So in the businesses, in the P2C businesses, I'm surprised, and also, adding to that, there should be more involvement of females and women in the teams, right? Even when the startups are building the teams, whether it's a technology company or something, that female aspect is very important in e-commerce or things like that. So that's another idea of maybe for startups to include in those core teams. The females, which we see quite rarely, and as well as, like you said, educating females that the trends on the markets and everything is, going to be in our little device that we carry in our purses in the future, and everything is changing into, putting your own life in there, and the cities are changing because everything is going to be in this little device. So it's IT driven, technology driven, programming driven, and so also to what you said, the mindset of females need to go that direction to switch to those technology things and markets. And the same for us is We Girls and what we're trying to do is also to connect that real world and virtual world, because that's nothing that we're going to run away from, and the virtual world is going to be there, and children, younger and younger children, are in this virtual world. What we're trying to do is also to make it meaningful. So also that was a very big driver. Now kind of made a big loop to come back to answer a little bit to your question, but also as a mother, as a human citizen on this world, I kind of got a little bit of scared sometimes where this world is going, and you know what my children are looking up on online and in their tablets, and you know, one of the things that we want to do is we want to ensure that this world is safe, and that they also have some real world to play with, which is very important, and especially in the development of the children. But they also have access to virtual world. But it's something that I, as a parent, also care about and want to make it valuable and meaningful for my children.
Okay, and from the investor's point of view, like, can you spot any differences in the approach of men and women when they come to you, their businesses?
Men will hate me for that, but I think that women are more talented in terms of the management. I rarely
like inborn skills,
like
management skills.
Like management skills, because we have so many roles, I think, and because we have to think of many different things, and we work, we think about our houses, homes, apartments, kids. Men do. They do also think about the same things, but we have to arrange it. Usually it's mostly women, and this 80% statistics that the decision comes from women, the buying decision confirms that. It's not because we want to do that, but it's we do this. So I think that it is connected with our ability to be a good manager of people. And I think this is one of the most crucial things to build a healthy, good company, to be able to manage people. Men are sometimes better in project management. What does it mean? It's again the same. It confirms what I say, is that they are when they focus on one thing, they really do it, you know, very precisely, etc. But when you ask from even psychological point of view, if you ask men to do 3 things at the same time, any man you know, just try that. It will be, you know, like, hello, I'm doing something else.
Don't talk to me right now.
Leave me alone. So this is it.
So we're natural managers on everyday basis.
This is what I see when I talk with women. I like women, but it's I work in 2003 or 2002. We had this conference with 2 women, Kasia Niezgoda-Walczak and the other women from MTV, and they asked us why there is so little women in general management position. And I actually pointed what Eva just said, that this is the problem of the culture and how we are brought up as a kids, and what kind of cult even we follow in our later life. So nothing has changed. And there's also the question of being different. I mean, when you are starting as a woman doing career in Poland, unfortunately, I must say it, it's very difficult. I came from abroad, and I was quite well educated with vast experience in field, in the mission. So I had a really real problems. And then I came to Poland, and I was somehow too young, too pretty to be a manager on a mid-level position. So this is the issue from my perspective, huge issue, which I don't see we managed to mitigate it completely. I mean, it still exists.
So you probably also met also 100% men environment when you encounter this management level.
Yes.
I think now the Silicon Valley is showing us that it could change, and we have Sheryl Sandberg as the CEO of Facebook, and then the CEO of YouTube is also female. Same goes for IBM, from what I remember. So
It used to be also HP, Fiorina,
yeah,
my former boss.
hopefully, yeah, there is a light in the tunnel. But going back to your question about what drives male managers and female managers, I didn't see a lot of female managers at work. We do have one female CEO in our portfolio companies, and we actually chose her. So she wasn't among the original founders, but she's both a technologist and she's a great operating manager. So this is what Gosia said. The main brain behind that company, a technology person, would never be able to do the administrative, operating, financial roles, things, activities that she's performing. And when it comes to like what drives men and women, I shared with you before a bit of research that has been conducted mostly by psychologists. Women tend to be more, let's say, value-driven. And this, again, this showed during the financial crisis when women were the first to leave the large banks, when they were collapsing, when all the evil deeds came out. And male would stay till the end, especially if they would get a pay raise to remain. So I think that the fact that women are more value-driven gives them a longer perspective. And because of that, some research shows that women perform better as CEOs, as leaders of their companies. I'm not sure how this research is conducted. I didn't go into methodology, but it does seem like a possible outcome of such research.
Just want to chime in with because you have a lot of research, but from my colloquial, let's say, knowledge a little bit, or my experience, I do know, and examples you mentioned here, great female leaders, and there's great female leaders and great male leaders, and there shouldn't be any line whatsoever. And it's just the barriers that we're building ourselves as females, and we shouldn't have those barriers. We are equally good as men, and there shouldn't be any of that. I agree with that. Value-driven. I think we are tough, and I think one of the things that I've noticed is sometimes we are very stubborn also, and we can jump over the big walls. And there's we don't take no as an answer. And I've met in my life a lot of females that you can say, you can't do that, you're not going to do that, and it's like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong, and that's a very great quality that we have, and we should build on that because that's a great value and quality that we have.
So we're natural born managers and. Not to say stubborn, but persistent, right? Okay, so what to do to make women come out? As you say, that there are many fabulous women leaders, how to make them come out through education, like various initiatives, like what else? How to, make the girls, women with ideas do something or do more, do even more.
I really think we shouldn't think that way. We're sitting in a room and we are who we are in terms of our ideas, our thoughts, our business plans, our leading the teams, and we should never be intimidated in the room and just speak our minds.
Maybe a good idea is to lead by example. So just by the fact that we are here and we are successful and we tell women to be who you are, use all that you have and all that you are to your success and to the benefit of whatever you want to do, your business. use the qualities that others might not have, the things that others might not see. And
So look for inspirations, right?
Yeah, this is
Do your best.
very important. But I think that if you look at real life, women are discriminated, and we are not always good product for a manager, especially young women, because we can get pregnant. We can go for leave, long leave, etc. So this is the fact, and if we also from this perspective will fight it, and if we prove it that the children is accomplishment, not the problem, and if male side don't understand it. This is the problem. In my career, I started my career 20 years ago, and I'm in Poland from 2001, with a few years break. I promoted, maybe not promoted, but I coached 10 women and few men, of course, 5, I think, which are really now at high positions in Poland and in different fields. TPSA, controlling director, member of the board, DHL, the chief of the law department, and many women who actually, and I helped them because I was a woman. So this is also, I think, very important that women will support women. Even if they are younger, prettier, and have a bigger perspective, you were her 20 years ago. So this is my approach. And I fight with men who actually cross the women because she's too nice. And I was working in a huge VC a few years ago, many years ago, and there was a woman. And actually I was given her support because she was a nice blonde girl. And the owner said, you know, she's too nice, you know. If she goes for negotiation, it will be like, they will be maybe laughing at her or something like that. Now I cannot say who is she now, but now she is a very successful leader here in Poland in IT industry. Only because an older woman helped her to develop her skills, not only giving her the back office stuff, because it could be her career. She holds PhD, she has 2 kids, and she's very successful. So I think it's up to us also to support younger women or women who are just starting.
So not only look for inspiration, but also look for a mentor, and most important, maybe even better, for a women mentor that knows what barriers you have to overcome when you're running into this business and investors world.
Yeah, we should share our experience. We should open up and we should say, listen, I was in the same position. I was in different position. I was very brave as a young woman, right? But when I came back to Poland, I was really disappointed. I was frustrated. It was like 2 months decision whether stay in Poland or go abroad, because I was offered nice job in UN in New York, and but I don't wanted to travel. It was too much for me, so I decided to stay. But it was really hard for me for a few years. Then it's easier because you're women, so all men want to meet with you. They prefer meet with you, all the presidents of IT companies those days, to drink coffee and to do some deals. Then with other men. So then it's then an advantage, right? But it costs you a lot of work and blood to do that, and you have to be very brave, because some men can be really not nice during the meetings. I had a meeting in 2001. I was working in Compaq as a HP as a marketing manager, and I was in red shoes, and I had red bag, and I had a dark suit. And there was a man who was actually, and I was running the meeting as a main sponsor of this big debate. And I was actually insulted by him. I came from the US, so probably my mind was a little bit, with the information from there. I just went out from the meeting. He said he will call my boss and I will be fired today in 15 minutes. So I said, okay, if this is the situation in here in Poland, I'm going to live, and this is it. So I shut the door and I left. I was not fired. Again, it was American corporation, so I didn't even expect that I would be fired. But this kind of situation, I mean, it was the spectacular one because this guy was very, high level banking manager, member of the board of huge bank, and there were some politicians, etc. So we have to be brave. This is what we have, and we cannot accept if somebody tells you that your smile looks even better than your shoes. This is my approach.
So it's not easy. Is it difficult to cooperate even when you already found your company, when you're looking for investor, or in this investors world? Is it difficult to work with men? Is it easier to work with other women companies or women investors, or it doesn't matter at a certain level or stage of your company's development?
For me, there is no difference. I love to work with men. I love to work with women. It's all about, the other person's mindset, approach to work, what they want to take out of whatever they're doing, the organization. It's about the culture.
It's a funny question for us because the company is We Girls. So it's just naturally that the girls and women understand our products better, and it's very easy to get what we want to do right away. And there's the adverse side of that because there's experts, like you're saying, that doesn't matter. And right now our marketing director is male. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, and we hiring men, and we're going to be hiring more men. And but we had that at the very beginning that we had a hard time to sort of sell a product idea that is targeted for primarily girls to get it to the male's mind. But so it's a little bit. Tough question for us because of the profile of the company. But yes, I'm saying we're hiring more male right now, and our contractants and partners are both females and males, and it's really the expertise and again, what you represent and what can you do, and that's what we should verify everybody on, not by gender.
So does it mean that we could say that the beginning is the hardest part of, just the coming out is the hardest part of getting into your business? And when you reach a certain level and you already run the business, talk to investors, then it's already just the expertise that you represent? Is that the conclusion, that the beginning is the hardest part?
From the investor point of view, it doesn't matter. You look at the project. You look at the what the project has to offer, what the problems does the project solve. Plus, you look at the team. Firstly, you look at the team, of course. If the project is nice, you look if you can collaborate with the team, and if it can be. Because if the team is not good, we don't invest, even if the project is excellent, because it ends that we have to run this project as VC managers, which is not our role. So we don't look at the gender when we, of course, work with startups. From my perspective, it's different. If I build my company, and I built one, because it was fashion company, clothing company, of course, more women were working inside. That's natural. But the best PR manager was male. He's now in Harrods, working as an assistant to All Saints, a very good brand. This is also our success as a company. But yes, I think it's we are looking for skills, and not only technical skills, but also ability to manage the project.
But you know what? But that's very interesting how you put it, and I think it's a little bit of that also. That maybe there is a stage that one needs to prove themselves, and as a females, we do need to prove harder. We feel like sometimes
be more persistent at this stage. Okay, like we said that IT is like mostly now man-oriented branch. Like, can you name any branches which are more women, typical for women, like fashion? First of all, any others from what you can observe on the market?
Well, it's usually where the customers are women, because women create products for women. So probably cosmetics, fashion,
Toys, services.
toys for
So,
girls.
is it the rule that women create the businesses which are oriented at women customers? Is it like a golden rule, 100%?
No, no, of course not. Of course not. As long as you are able to understand the business and run it, you can be male, you can be female. As we said, there are female leaders in the IT world, in the technology world. We do have very skillful women in robotics, biotech, chemistry is a field where there are a lot of women. But there is a tendency to be, for women to be in the business where customers are usually feminine, and for men to be CEOs in companies that are more technology oriented.
And we go back to the start
male-oriented.
of the discussion. Okay, good news for actually the end of our discussion is that the Global Entrepreneur Report of BNP Paribas actually named Poland as the first place in the world, which was named a women entrepreneur hotspot. Actually, so it seems like we are a good starting point, really the hotspot for spreading those women companies and make it a global tendency. So I hope we will all succeed. I wonder if there are any questions from our audience that you would like to ask to the panelists, or any observations, conclusions that you would like to share with us.
Maybe I'll share one conclusion based on what you just said. I heard that the statistic in Poland for new startups being established that are run by women is 28%, whereas the global statistic is around 3 to 5%. So it looks like Poland is the leader.
Yeah, we have a lot to boast about. Okay, thank you very much. I hope it's the first of the meetings, and the topic is very attractive, and we will have many more chances to actually observe what the tendency looks like. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.